and we'll see how these players decide to approach it. So Alrik Ral will be bringing the Vampire Coast. BBB Chief will be playing Skaven round 1. This is a best of 5, so this is it for the long haul. Last weekend we did have a player come back from a 2-0 deficit flying Taco and return triumphantly to win 3-2 against Anticity. So yeah, maybe we'll see something similarly epic today. We can always hope. Now, let's go ahead, load in the game, and looking at the Vampire Coast first, we are going to see 4 units of Zombie Pirate Deckhand Mob with polearms. 2 units of Zombie Pirate Deckhand Mobs. He's going to have 3 Bombers and 2 regular Zombie Pirate Gunnery Mob. And make that 4 Bombers with 2 units of Zombie Pirate Gunnery Mob. Wow, interesting. Now we're going to be looking here. We're going to see 2 Scurvy Dogs. And then we're also going to be looking at some Morgul action. Looks like 2 regular, one of them, a third one going to be the Night Terror's ROR. I like having that terror against Skaven. It just makes sense. Take it against a faction that's very prone to terror routing. Vampire Fleet Captain is going to have Taunt, Invocation from the Heck, and Drown Dead and be on foot. And then up in the air, you got Luther Harkin on top of his Death Shriek Terrorgeist. It's going to have Hornswaggle and Magical Void. Now, the 33% magic resistance is nice because Warp Lightning Cannon, should they be on the field, do magical damage. And, yeah, so that's actually pretty effective. For the rest of this army, looks like we have some polearms, and actually I think that's it. Yeah, so let's go ahead and cover the Skaven forces, and we'll start from this side of the battlefield, where we're going to be seeing some Gutter Runner Slingers. Oh, I love it. You see, this is my kind of build versus Vampire Coast, so we'll see how this works. But Gutter Runner Slingers in the front line, going to have Clanrats and Clanrat Spears alternating. Looks like we're going to have 4 of each of them. And then, yeah, the 4 Gutter Runner Slings that are going to be up front. Now, aside from that, we are going to have the Natty Boo Boo Sharpshooters and the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers over here in the forest, hiding themselves, ready to snipe down any enemies who get in too close and get trapped. He's going to have some Rat Ogres in the back lines. It looks like 3 of them. And then he's going to have 2 Assassins. One of these Assassins is going to have everything from Skaven Brew, Rival Hide Talisman, Assassin's Trophy, Slippery. Same one's going to have the exact same loadout. And then we're going to have a Gracier of Plague on foot with the Warpstone Scroll. That's going to be very useful against Luther Harkin. You'll have to time it very well. Arcane Conduit, Vermintide, Bless with Filth, and Plague Rash with the Portents of Verminous Doom. So, taking a higher level view of the battlefield here. Rattling Gunners, I will double check for you guys. I don't think they're magic damage. I may be wrong, though. I just think it's the Warp Lightning Cannon, like the Plague Claw Catapult. So over here, we're going to be seeing some Scurvy Dogs. They're going to find the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers here in the forest. You careful, you're going to start a fire in here, you guys. How reckless and irresponsible. Smokey would be disappointed. Okay, dad jokes aside, Natty Boo Boo Sharpshooters are running away from the trees. I like that decision. I think he maybe saw something over here in the trees and, you know, had a good idea that he doesn't want his Natty Boo Boo Sharpshooters over there where they can be compromised by a strong flanking force. Because, as you can see in the tactical view of the battle map, it's clear that the Vampire Coast is going for very much a strong right flank and then pushing in the Skaven formation. So I think the Skaven are going to actually do very well here on the right side of the battlefield as their Slingers, especially since they're Gutter Runner Slingers, those are good units, will probably have no problem tearing through the Bombers from a distance. Alright, Luther Harkin starting to get shot. And now the Morghuls have sprung from the trees, and the Skaven are turning around. I really like this decision, demonstrating a lot of patience here from Chief. And the Morghuls are going to continue to pursue. So we'll see what happens here. The Vampire Coast is absolutely right. They have to keep the momentum up. They have to crush this right flank if they hope to win and overwhelm the Skaven forces. So it's going to be a close one. This is going to be a very key engagement happening here. Meanwhile, on the Skaven right flank, the Vampire Coast left flank, we're going to continue to see the pressure from the Slingers, except for these ones who aren't even being microed to do anything. And there's a lot of Skaven units over here, which, you know, they're strategic reserves, don't get me wrong, they'll be useful sooner or later. It looks like both of our players have forgotten some units, just leaving them here, leaving them here. Coming back over here to the central engagement, the key engagement that we were looking at earlier, it seems the Morghuls are still hanging out. They're still in there. Rat Ogres, looks like a couple of them are starting to rout, and now the Vampire Coast is starting to get some reinforcements over here. The Night Terrors are actually holding together very, very well. The other two Morghuls are down to about half health, but this is going to be very important. I don't know who's ahead right now. It's a tough one, because when you have the Assassin getting over here, he'll really help out in the combat against the Morghuls, but yeah, there goes all the infantry support besides the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers. And I like that he was using a Skaven Brew on top of them, by the way. 40 melee attack on top of these guys. Oh man, we missed it. 71 melee attack, that's insane. Coming back over to this side of the battlefield, we're going to see the bombers trying to close the gap. But Skaven just doing good work, zoning them out, laying in that damage, but balance of power is starting to go against them. And over here, we're going to see some of the gunnery mob coming over here, trying to get the slings. But overall, all of the gutter runner slingers are still in very good spirits and health. But the leadership, on the other hand, is just taking a serious blow. Going to see their Gracier Plague getting terror routed. Looks like he's going to regain his courage now and stand and fight. But now we have the two assassins down here. Got Slippery popped on top of them, which is really helping. A Rival High Talisman going down on top of this blob of troops. So Luther Harkin literally had 0 attack right there. He had no chance of hitting anything. But yeah, this is a very, very, very close game. And it seems like the Assassin squad is doing well against the Morghuls. The Night Terrors are starting to lose a lot of health, a lot of models, and I don't know. This is a close match. Anybody's game for sure. Okay, we have the Clan Rat Spears diving into the polearms. We have the slings continuing to lay down just a lot of suppressive fire. But I think he needs to use them more aggressively, and in particular, he needed his slings to be over here in this engagement. I just feel like the Vampire Coast has benefited greatly by keeping those slings way over here and occupied. So right now, it's just looking like it's going to be going pear-shaped for our Skaven player Chief right now, as Luther Harkin is still very healthy. His Morghuls, you know, while they've taken damage, they're still capable of getting healed, resurrecting models, and Invocation of Nehek. And speaking of Invocation of Nehek, there she is. I was wondering where that Vampire Fleet Captain had gone. So, yeah. Just think these guys were not where they needed to be to win this fight. And that's a matter of, like, you know, in mixed unit tactics, you have to make sure you have these units in there to apply the pressure to the Morghuls while your assassins are pinning them in place and killing them. Because the assassins, like you saw, did damage, but imagine if there was like 2 gutter runner slingers throwing fire in on top of them as they were in combat with those assassins. Completely change the dynamic. It would give them a further leadership debuff because they're getting shot, so similar to like a rear attack, and that could lower the leadership just enough to start causing crumbling. You know, it's super important to make sure your units are on the battlefield at the place you know you need them to be. Easier said than done, as always, but when I was looking at that battle, that's one thing I think I could take away from it, is these guys were very far removed from the majority of the Skaven engagement. They were doing well in killing a lot of units, but it was, and they were even killing important units like bombers and stuff, but it just, they were off on the other side of the battlefield, just kind of like wasting their time. And the difference is like those bombers I think are 400 apiece, maybe I would say 550 max, but no, they're more than 400. No, they might be 400. Anyways, somebody can post it in the chat. But these gutter runner slingers are not cheap. I want to say they're 750 each. So that's a lot of money getting tied up in engagements with a lot of chaff, when they could have been over there getting so much value killing Morghuls. and pressuring Luther Harkin too. But nonetheless, a great first battle, and I'm excited to see what happens next.